Right. Now the meeting is started now. So good evening to one and all of you now. So now
Good
the
evening, sir.
good evening, thank you. In the previous class already we have discussed more about the wage and salary administration. What is the importance of wage? How fringe benefit? What is the incentive? What are the types of incentives? What is individual incentives, group incentives? So how much benefit it is giving to the employees? What is the benefit of this wage and salary administration? So this is what we will discuss now.
Hello.
Whatever all the amount that they're giving to the employees especially for the purpose of motivating them towards do more and more amount of productive work. This is the main important essence of the incentive. Incentive is basically motivating an employee to put all his efforts to increase their efficiency, to do more work, and at the same time encourage them to do more amount of work. That is all aspects that is to be covered in this. First, there are various types of incentive schemes. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So there are వినపడుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Viనిపిస్తుంది.
Yes. Right. So
Yes.
there are various types of incentive schemes are there here. First one is straight piece wage rate system. That is basically we want to follow here. Straight piece wage rate system. That is how many number of units that are manufactured by the employee. On the basis of that, we will give them incentive. So how much number of units that are manufactured by the employee? That itself is an employee. If you decide the rate at the on par with the number of units produced by the employee, then he will try to produce more and more units to earn more and more amount of money. This is one type of incentive which is directly linked up to the production system. So here you have to understand about when you are increasing the production activity, the cost also will increase. The management or employer will feel that okay, we are paying more money to the employee by means of wages. I am getting more amount of production, but what is the benefit for me? That is the point. So here the any sort of sharing of the profits is not there, and employer is nowhere concerned here. He will get more amount of production. That's all. By selling the production he can get profit, but that is a different matter. Now let us go for the sharing of the PPT, and then on the basis of it, we will be able to understand. Right. So let me just 1 second. Let me take a snapshot. Right. Just 129 zone. That's close. Now, this is the three types of incentives or systems are there for an employee. So, whenever we are talking about the individual incentives, first one, individual incentive schemes. This in this particular process, individual incentive schemes, straight piece rate system, whatever we have discussed till now, above the standard production of units, every additional unit the employee get additional remuneration. Not only that one, actually, how many number of units the employee produce, or how much of work he will turn out. On the basis of that, he will get more and more amount of work. That is the first one. Second one is said to be differential piece rate system. In the case of differential piece rate system, what is described here is that there are this differential piece rate system is also there in the BCom cost accountancy. So there are three wage rates are prescribed here. The three wage rates are the employee who is performing less than 100% or lower than 100%, he will be paid a normal rate or lower rate. But at the same time, when his performance or the production activity or the work, whatever he is doing, is 100 to 125%, that is second higher rate will be given. This is above the lower rate. Actually, lower rate, second higher rate will be paid to the employee basing on his performance. So if an employee is producing the standard production from 100 to 125% of the rated production, then in such a case, he will be paid second higher rate. Then any employee who is able to make more, he is able to turn up more amount of production activity beyond 125%, then he will be asked to go for the higher and higher efficiency. Then he will be paid at a highest rate, actually highest rate that will act as an incentive. So what we observe here is that if an employee is able to perform well, that is lower the standard, he will get a normal rate only. But whereas if the employee gets more than that, 100 to 120%, second higher rate, which is almost normal rate. Then above 120%, if the employee is able to provide that efficiency, then it will be considered as a higher rate, and actually highest rate of labor wages will also be paid on that. So what is observed here in this, there is a slight criticism also is leveled against this particular system, is that employee is treated as a machine. Run, produce more. So if you produce more, one unit extra, if you produce, it will cross 120%. Like that. So employees are treated as a machines, but not as a human being. So every employee will have his own commitments. As because of the commitments, they will run more and more, so that they become inefficient or become lazy, or they may not be able to perform better at their older age of employment. So if a person works for 8 hours a day, okay, he can provide service for a longer period of time. But if the employee works hard for the day and night, automatically one time or the other he will become sick, and because of the sickness, he will lose entire his opportunity to earn. This is very much hazardous to the, very much difficult for the employees, and at the same time, they all, even though they work at the highest rate, their savings will not be useful for their families and all. So the reason is that will come under this particular. So most major criticism is that they are not treated as a human beings, they are treated as a machines. Increase the speed like that. Then production incentive system, that is another incentive scheme, when the individual incentives can be based on the time saved as well as the output generated. So production incentive schemes, that is another third incentive system. Employee is expected to produce the goods within a minimum guaranteed hourly rate. What is minimum guaranteed hourly rate? For 1 hour, if the employee is able to produce, let us assume that 10 units a day. So if the employee is able to produce 10 units within 50 minutes of the time itself, that is less than 1 hour, then he will be provided with an incentive, because time is saved for the employer. So here, this type of incentive scheme basically talks about the time measurement. So if the work is to be done in 1 hour, if the employee is able to turn out that work within 50 minutes or 45 minutes itself, then the employee will be paid incentive system. So this will encourage the employees to do the work more concentratedly and more speedy environment. And this is also helps for the employee for going up with the team spirit also encouraged. If one employee is not able to do the work, other will definitely come and do the work partially. So on the basis of production incentive schemes, the employees will the employees production system will be good, and they will produce more amount of work within the stipulated working conditions, and they don't delay or they are not lazy. So at this type of incentive system is more suited to the production organizations. Next one, increments. Already we know the increment system. Increment is very known to us. At the end of every year, the employee will get the increment. So that is annual wage increments actually. So there will be normally 5%, 10%, 15% like that. So this increment itself acts as a major consideration for the employee to work for the organization more and more. Suppose if an employee works for 1 year, okay, if he got an increment of say 4,000, then okay, already my salary is increased by 4,000. Let us work for another one year or 2 years so that I will get more and more amount of increments on that. So like that, employee also will become committed. When regular increments are given, regular salaries are given, and employee is peaceful with the payment systems, then employee also will get committed on that. So this incentive, that increments we need not explain, but sorry, the increments is not guaranteed. Actually, in every case, giving increment is sometimes it becomes an option to the employer. So if the organization is running in losses, the employer may not give any sort of increment. But unless increments are given, the employees are not get satisfied. And last one is that bonus. Actually, bonus is very much known to us. Bonus is the tool for the purpose of sharing the profits among the various employees. Bonus is a profit sharing tool to the employee. So out of the, if the employees are able to produce more, and if the employees are able to generate more amount of production at the lowest cost with higher efficiency, with the total quality, and so on, organization will get more amount of profits. As the profits are more, the bonus paid to the employees are also more. But here, amounts, not all the profits that are generated, and all the profits that the employer get, they are not shared to the employee. Only a part of that only will be shared to the employee. The remaining part will be kept at the employer itself. These are the various aspects that comes under the individual incentive schemes. Why I explain this one is that this is more useful. Explain the various incentive schemes. That's all. Question లో మీకు just various explain the various incentive schemes అంటారు. So whenever the incentive schemes, even you write these all 5 to 6 lines, 6 points, that will give a good answer, which is easy to remember and which is easy to understand also. And even just explain the wage rate systems. Production incentive means time saving device. Increments is normal increments. Bonus is profit sharing. Individual incentive means that piece rate itself is an incentive, and differential piece rate system is 3 wage rates. Like that, every type, if you remember in a synopsis way, then you can write better. So like that, you try to remember the answer and try to make it. Okay. Then another one is that, so group incentive schemes and organizational wide incentive schemes. What are all the group incentive schemes? Incentives are given for the entire group of the people or a group task. So if already 5, 6 members are working in a group, for all the 5, 6 members, then whatever the work turned out by them, for that they are paid bonus, or they are paid incentive, or they are paid annual increments on that. If a group of people, actually what all the incentive schemes we studied till now, all these incentive schemes can be applied for the group incentive schemes also. They can be used on the group basis also. But the one important point is that in case of group incentive schemes, a team A, team B. If team A is working better, team B is not working better, then in such a case, team A will get increments or incentives, but team B will not be considered. This gives a raise for the rivalry between the employees. So, and another important point we have to remember that, so within a group, say for example, the team A, 5 members are working. Out of it, one may be fully efficient, another person, say, maybe a very, very less efficient who cannot turn up the work. Then, because of one person, the entire group will lose the entire group will lose the this incentive. So, if all are efficient persons, then it's okay. But if it is a combination of lesser efficiency and higher efficiency, sometimes they may mutually cooperate with each other. But on one day or other, that person is not working, this person is not working. That is why I are losing our incentives. Like that, that group incentive system will give rise to the conflicts between the members of that particular group. This is a very, very important aspect what we have to understand. Then another important element is that under organizational wide incentives, In case of organizational-wide incentives, what we have to understand is that this type of incentive schemes produce rewards for the employees based on the organizational-wide, entire organization, not for a group, not for a person, not for a department. So for the entire organization, we are going to provide the incentive system. So if they do cost reduction, so that is one incentive. Then another one is profit sharing. That is another measure. Like that, when an employee is made out that one, then if it benefits or a group of employees make a benefit to the organization, then organization level incentive. This case, actually, one important incentive system that is called a Scanlon plan of bonus. Scanlon plan, Scanlon, Scanlon, Scanlon plan. That means it operates between, it creates a cooperative environment between. Under the Scanlon plan, that which is a part of organizational level incentive scheme. So what is done is that management and employees sit together. Both of them will share the problems. Both of them will share goals. Both of them will identify what is the better systems and ideas and procedures. So when the employees and managers sit together and decide about the changes, about the systems of performing the particular work and task, then in such a case, the employee organization also will get benefited. So this is the most important area. So employers and employees, supervisors and employees, they share the thoughts and they will give idea. One employee will say, sir, this is not the way to do the job. If we do in this way, it will be very easy. Like that, employees, when they are working on the field, they will have more easy working techniques and they will do better than a manager actually speaking. Manager or supervisor, he will tell. But actually, the worker is the person who is doing on that. So if the employer and employee, both of them sit together and share the ideas, goals, etc., then organization will get benefited on that. So employees representatives. So all these ideas are put into a committee form and the committee is accepted, the cost saving procedures, etc. And now almost 80% of the suggestions given by the employees are accepted by the committee because the employees are the people who are performing the task. So whatever the suggestions that are given by the employees, they are accepted by the committees and they will recommend for the incentive scheme and all. Actually, in this case of Scanlon plan also, but coming to an understanding between the employer and employee is itself difficult. Always employer will be in the profit motive side and employee will be in the lesser working style. So getting the common ideology between the employer and employee is the most important aspect in this. These are three types of incentive schemes. So remember very carefully, explain the various incentive schemes. Then you can write about individual incentives, group incentives. Group incentives are nothing but applying the individual incentives to the group system. Then organizational-wide incentives are the another one. So I hope you are able to understand this one. This is the easiest unit you can remember. Then fringe benefits. This is another important topic. What is? Explain the fringe benefits. What are the types of fringe benefits? Explain the concept of fringe benefit or types of fringe benefits. Actually, the word fringe benefit, Fringe, fringe benefit means anything which is beyond, anything which is paid to the employee beyond the accepted salary, beyond the employer's acceptance to the employee. Suppose say an employee is accepted for 10,000 rupees of salary, say for example 20,000 rupees salary. Whatever paid beyond that, that is called as a fringe benefit. Fringe benefit need not be in the form of non-monetary. But fringe benefits always also will be in the form of a monetary basis also. So what exactly to understand is that whatever employee pay above the salary, above the accepted wages, then they are called as fringe benefits. So some of the examples for the fringe benefits are that there is provident fund actually. Whatever the provident fund that is given to the employee, provident fund contribution, PF ಅಂತಾಂಗದ మనం. So whenever we are talking about this one, so whenever we are talking about this provident fund, actually what for every employee, depending on the PF Act. So some amount will be deducted from his salary, and equal amount will be given by the management as a contribution, and the total amount is deposited in the PF office. So at the end of the service or at the time of retirement, this amount will be given to the employee for their security and social status. So provident fund is basically a fringe benefit, monetary fringe benefit, and it is a statutory fringe benefit also. Reason is that till as long as he is his service, it's okay. But when once he retired from the service, how to live? That is also that sometimes commitments will be there, like children's education, marriages, etc. Then this provident fund contribution amount will be useful to them at the edge of the retirement life, at the edge of service life actually. So then PF, that is provident fund. This is paid extra than the salary. Then gratuity. That is how much amount of gratuity paid is on basis of the Gratuities Act. Mostly some of you might be knowing about this one in the business law or the mercantile law. You have read this gratuity concept. For every 1 year of service, 15 days salary at the date of retirement will be paid to him according to the Gratuities Act. So how many years he served and what is the last pay term? Out of that, half pay will be given into number of years of service will be provided as a gratuity. But if it is a seasonal employment, then half, instead of 15 days, 7 days is to be taken into consideration. Like that, provident fund, gratuity, these are all comes under the fringe benefits only, but they are statutory fringe benefits. And non-statutory fringe benefits are also there for the employees which are provided. Non-statutory fringe benefits are, say for example, educational loans, providing free education to the children for the employee. So providing housing loans, all those aspects that comes under the non-statutory fringe benefits. So actually, I hope you are able to understand now. The represent is that anything which is a substantial cost expense to the employer, a substantial cost benefit, cost expense to the employer, and a cost saving to the employee, it is called as a fringe benefit. Any substantial amount of cost expense to the employer, but it is cost saving to the employee, then it is considered as a fringe benefit. So what is the need of the fringe benefit? This is only a small point to be studied, that is to avoid dissatisfaction. So when the employees are getting fringe benefits, they will be happy. To attract and retain good number of employees, if any organization gives you provident fund, gratuity, educational loans, cooperative societies, management and all, then normally employees wants to stick on to that particular organization. They don't move from that. So that is with that. So if any employee is given a gratuity benefit, so for the 5 years, if he stays on the organization, then only he will be eligible for the gratuity. So at the end of the fourth year or at the end of third year, the employee don't go out of the organization with the expectation that he will get gratuity at the end of the 5 years. Like that, it is very useful to retain the employees in the organization. Then neutralize the impact of inflation. Inflation already, rising of prices. If you provide fringe benefits, that will neutralize the impact of the impact of inflation. To overcome the competition of the employees, that is another one. And to overcome the provisions of the law, some of the provisions are there. So PF should be provided to the employee. Gratuity should be given to the employee. That is a statutory rule. These are the various important aspects of it. Then what are the main objectives of providing fringe benefits? This is an important question. Actually, normally need that I think not so. So what is fringe benefit? What are the objectives of providing fringe benefit? What are the types of fringe benefits? These questions you remember better. And first one, what is fringe benefits? Second one, objectives of fringe benefits. Third one, types of fringe benefits. So let me go back once. So in this incentive schemes, that is unit number 15, incentive schemes and fringe benefits. It is the smallest unit. Up to here, one question. And types of fringe benefits, this is another important question. Current affairs ఎవరు అడగరు కానీ. So now this is over. So next, objectives of fringe benefits are there. So that is one. What are the main objective of providing fringe benefits? That is called as humanistic consideration. Normally, organizations also will look about the safety and security of the employees. So when they are taking care of the employees, almost employee also will be committed to the organization. In this case, under humanistic consideration, That is a voluntary effort of the welfare, so that welfare orientation. That is, whenever the employee is leaving the organization, he must have some sort of benefit. Then, when an employee is working in the organization, so he must have a canteen facility. Without a canteen facility, how the employee can work for 8 hours a day? So, crutch facilities, stores, stores facility, like that, human considerations are there. Second objective is to meet the statutory requirements. So, and in case of already in case of mercantile law, you have studied Industrial Dispute Act and all. So, Industrial Factories Act is there. PF Act is also there in it. Employee State Insurance Act. Like the different statutory requirements are there, which are asking every organization to provide the fringe benefits to the employees in this. So certain benefits became statutory. So for example, Factories Act stipulated number of hours of work. So an employee should work for 8 hours a day, that's all. So if he works for anything above the 8 hours, he must be provided with an incentive and all. Then providing canteen, rest sheds, crutches, washing facilities, etc. They are very much compulsory in case where the employees. And the Maternity Benefits Act is also there in that. So these are all for the benefits of the employees. So these are the statutory requirements which provides fringe benefits. Concern for the society. So what is concern for the society? An employee is working for, say for example, if an employee works for 20 years for an organization. So after 20 years, if he leaves the organization and say that no salary, nothing else, what he will do? So how he will survive in the organization? Then again, the so many problems will crop up. So to have the concern about the social obligation. So as he served for the so much of period, we should show some sort of gratuity to them. So that is why gratuity is introduced. Provident fund is also the same thing. So at the time of retirement from the job, the employer will give a provident fund check with this one. So that amount, if he invest in any of the insurance company or any of the banks, etc., on the with the interest also he can survive better. That is called a social concern. Then third important, fourth important, the compensation to the hazardous industrial life. So sometimes our employees may be working in any of the chemical factories, etc. So they may be facing a lot of health hazards. So in order to protect them for that, in order to protect from the health hazards in the industrial life, various compensations will be paid to them, and it may be in a monetary form or it may be in the physical security form also. Then tax considerations. So what is tax consideration? If the employer pays an amount to the employees in the form of fringe benefits, say, then he will be eligible for that tax deduction. So if the traveling allowance is paid to the employee, so employee also will not be taxed, and employer also can show it as an expense. Daily allowance. Then this I hope you have studied in the BCom income tax also. Composite hill compensatory allowance, where the employees are working in hill area. Any special compensatory allowance, tribal area allowance, transport allowance, any other allowance encouraging the academic research for the other professions, etc. Uniform allowance for the reasonable extent, like police departments, etc. So like the tax considerations also will be there. And I have not given that. Another two are there. That is utilization of the leisure time and competitive considerations are also another objectives of it. If an employee is provided with good fringe benefit, you can utilize his free time better on this. These are the various objectives for it. Then types of fringe benefits actually. This is paragraph number 15.6 in the page number 273 of your material. So closely monitor on this. So that is a very, very, very important question for your examination point of view. Then types of fringe benefits. First one is statutory fringe benefits. Already we are talking about this one in the from the long time. Statutory fringe benefits are for the purpose of providing safety, security to the employees in that period of time. Then safety and security to the employee. So whenever the employee is, so social security measures, so many social security measures are taken by them. So every employer must follow the Minimum Wages Act. 1948 it is there. To ensure minimum wage to the employee. Even the employer cannot reduce that amount of minimum wage. Payment of Wages Act is there. Ensure regularity of wages. Then Industrial Dispute Act is there. In the time of layoff, in the time of no production activity, then dismissals, retrenchment, all of a sudden, if employee is dismissed from the job, then he can file a suit in the court of law according to Industrial Dispute Act also. Then Workmen's Compensation Act and Employee State Insurance Act to compensate the worker for the loss arising out of the occupational diseases and industrial accidents, etc. So these are various benefits that are social measures which are legally required benefits, we can say. Factories Act is also another one to provide the worker to prove proper working conditions are to be made. Employees Provident Fund Act and Employees Family Pension Fund Act also is there. These are various legal requirements of the legal requirements towards the fringe benefits to the employee. Then payment of minimum wages is another one that is already we discussed. So then Provident Fund, family pension, normal pension that is already known to you. In the case the pension now not there in the society now. Very recently the pension is closed and central government itself closed that pension concept and employee will be paid provident fund gratuity. But now still the government employees who joined in the various organizations, very long back, they are getting monthly pension and that benefit is they are enjoying. That is also a fringe benefit. Gratuity already explained. So these are all. Statutory welfare measures are also comes under the statutory fringe benefits also. Statutory welfare measures are the medical facility. Medical facility must be provided to the employees according to section 45 of the Factories Act 1948. So it requires every employee maintenance of the first aid box and a cupboard with that for every 150 employees in that. And canteen and cafeteria. And leave facility must be provided to the employee. Safety measures also should be provided to them. And crutches also should be mentioned, should be maintained according to section 48 of the Factories Act, where more than 50 women employees are working in that organization. So ordinarily they are employed in that. So then overtime wages also should be paid more than 48 hours in a week. If employee works, the overtime wages must be paid. And other facilities like statutory benefits are also to be provided. And then these are the various statutory fringe benefits. So what I want to, instead of going in a straight line manner, just listen, understand. So types of fringe benefits are two: statutory, non-statutory. In the case of statutory, first part is that statutory fringe benefits. What are the different legal fringe benefits? Legalized fringe benefits that are to be provided. A table is given, minimum wages act and all. Then another thing is that some other additional fringe benefits are also to be given. Under additional fringe benefits, provident fund, pension, gratuity, state insurance, welfare measures also comes under fringe benefits only. So welfare measures ఒక part అండి. స్టాట్యూటరీ ఫ్రింజ్ బెనిఫిట్స్ లో వెల్ఫేర్ మెజర్స్ ఒకటి, లీగల్ మెజర్స్ ఒకటి, లీగల్ బెనిఫిట్స్ ఒకటి, ఈ రెండు పార్ట్స్ కింద మీరు ఆన్సర్ కనుక ఫ్రేమ్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే మీకు బాగుంటుంది. దెన్ కమింగ్ అండర్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్, లీవ్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ అండ్ నాన్ స్టాట్యూటరీ వెల్ఫేర్ మెజర్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో దేర్. నాన్ స్టాట్యూటరీ వెల్ఫేర్ మెజర్స్ ఇన్ దట్ యాక్చువల్లీ కన్వీనియన్స్ ఫెసిలిటీ. So these are known to you. I need not explain in the time-based business actually. Conveyance facility. So up and down, coming to the organization and going out. Second one is residential accommodation, providing quarters, etc. BHCL quarters, ECL quarters, etc. Like that. Education facility to the labor welfare and poor people, etc. Then company-sponsored events also is one part of that. To develop cohesiveness and commitment, companies will provide various events and counseling to the employees. So various employees, those who are feeling stress in the work and life, they will be provided counseling. And cultural activities are also conducted by the organization. Then employees cooperative stores or credit unions, employees cooperative credit societies, they are very, very beneficial to the employee. Every month, 100 rupees or 500 rupees will be deducted from the salary and all the employees put together. And whenever one employee or two employees, they need money immediately, like any accident is there or any emergency requirement is there, that out of that fund they will be paid and out of the salary again it will be recovered. So other non-statutory measures also there in that. So canteen, cheap mortgage, crutches, etc. These will come under non-statutory also. These are the very, very important aspects that you have to understand on this particular element. So with this, block 5. I concentrated more on the block 5 actually. Block 5 is very, very easy. Only 3 units are there. And the three out of 3 units, definitely you will get 2 questions of that. That point you need to concentrate on that. Right? Are you able to follow? Right, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Right, Andy. So with this, we can say that block 4 is also complete. Now we are entering into block 5. In the first one, industrial relations. This industrial relations we will take tomorrow's class. That is the last class. And today, industrial trade unions. Let us talk on this trade unions. So because it's only another 15, 20, 25 minutes, we can take up the class. So 16 industrial relations. What is the before one? Yeah, 15th is fringe benefits. 16th is industrial relations. 17th is the trade union. So whenever we are talking about this one, let us right. So class lo తగ్గిపోయారు. 9th. In the trade unions. Actually, what is the meaning of a trade union and all? We know what is trade union, but what we know is very, very little about the trade union. So actually, trade union is only, in our opinion, trade union is to fight for the employees, to protect the employees, to get higher and higher wages. Like that only we understand. But at the same time, trade unions are having a lot of obligations on their part and their various rights also for them, various duties also for them and that. So how to structure the trade unions and all? Out of all this trade union system, we need to understand about meaning of trade unions and definitions of trade unions, and then what are the objectives of trade unions. I hope you are able to look at the slide, whatever I am
Yes.
marking. Second one is objectives of trade unions. Then rights and responsibilities of the trade unions and problems of trade unions. So these problems of trade union and measures to strengthen the trade union movement in India. Like that's direct questions only concentrate more, and the remaining questions you can understand. So meaning and definition of trade unions in it. It's a combination with the main objective of regulate with main objective of regulating the relation between the workmen and the between work. Okay, okay. Right. So it is actually the nature of the trade union or meaning of trade union is that it's a combination with the main objective of regulating the relations between workman and workman. It's right, correct only. That's why I stopped and verified. Workman and workman between two employees, if there is any conflict, trade unions will solve. Between the master and master, sometimes the unions will play a greater role in managing the industrial relations between two companies itself. Then between the master and the workman, or otherwise management and the workman, for imposing restrictive conditions on the conduct of any trade or business are also to provisions of the benefit to the members. So they will conduct any of the trade or business. So they can do the business. While doing the business, it must be benefited to the members of that. Members include employers, employees, and also if the people between two, between any two people, the trade unions will play a greater role. Actually, I have not typed another important definition also. Actually, according to Edwin B. Flippo, page number 17.1, paragraph number 17.1, you can refer, and page number 302, page number 302, paragraph number 17.1, in that Edwin B. Filippo definition is easy to understand and you can easily cope up with it. A trade union is a workers' organization which is established by their collective activities to the welfare of the members in the social, economic, and political interest, and to keep them secured and for improving in it. So, trade union is a workers' organization, trade unions. So, all the workers put together, they will formulate the trade union, which is established by their own objective, own collective activities. So no management will insist for the trade union formulation. So they will achieve collective activities to the welfare of the members in the society. So for all the welfare, for the welfare of all the members and to solve the various problems of social problems. And if any employee is facing any sort of difficulty, then they will come forward. And economic problems, then political interests. Suppose if any political leader is intervening in the management of the business, trade unions will definitely fight. So this is the point in them. So economic political interests and to keep them secured for the improvement in it. So all the employees are protected and then only for the benefit of the organization and only for the benefit of improvement in the organization. So as per the Trade Union Act is also there. Trade union is a combination, whether temporary or permanent, formed primarily with the purpose of regularization of the relation between workers, employees, and between the employers and employees for the purpose of imposing restrictions on the conduct of any trade or business that what I gave you right now. So what we can understand totally is that trade union is a group of people. That is one. Trade union is a group of employees. So which is formed for regulating the various activities in the organization for the benefit of the employee. Like that, you broadly remember and go with that. Then, second, objectives of trade unions. Okay. Right. Another important question you have to note down. I'm missing here. So that is that objectives of trade unions here. That is paragraph number 17.2. There are two main objectives are there. One important objective is that object. So another important objectives of the trade unions are to be considered as economic objectives and non-economic objectives. This is given in the page number 303. Refer to that. First 8 objectives are provided to secure better wages and to secure a part of increased prosperity and not like that 8 points are given. That points you try to understand about this one. Then coming to the problems of trade unions actually in India. This is before theories of trade union. Let me directly go to this particular aspect and tomorrow is the last class. So I will give you time also to go with that. And then what are the rights and responsibilities of the trade union? And the problems of trade unions is page number, this is one important question actually, which is the paragraph number 17.9 and that you can refer in the page number 310, page number 310. So in the case of problems of the trade unions, in this, there some points are there between two different textbooks. There will be two different concepts are there. But you can go with the material part, whatever given in 17.9, and these are the additional points you can remember also. So these are the additional points actually. In the trade unions, problems are there. Uneven growth is there. So in the case of trade unions, the growth is very much uneven. When a trade union go for elections and trade union elections and trade union leaders and activities are mostly concentrated in the large scale industrial concentration, big industrial concentrations and all. Trade unions among the white collar workers in the lower management cadre is very much negligible. Then small size of the trade unions is there. So trade unions are very smaller in size when compared to the organization. So that is another problem. Trade unions, they themselves union rivalry, inter-union rivalry, that is the point. Trade union, if an organization, if in one organization, 2 or 3 trade unions may exist. So when there are 2 or 3 trade unions are there in one organization, they themselves will fight another with another. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో 2 ట్రేడ్ యూనియన్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి ఆ 2 ట్రేడ్ యూనియన్స్ కే పడదు అలాంటప్పుడు హౌ దే కెన్ ఫైట్ ఫర్ ద బెనిఫిట్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎంప్లాయీస్ వన్ డెఫినెట్లీ విల్ గో ఫర్ ద మేనేజ్మెంట్ సైడ్ అండ్ అనదర్ ట్రేడ్ యూనియన్ బికమ్ విల్ వీక్ and the problem of recognition also will all the trade unions are not recognized and them and the domination of unions by the political leaders So political leadership actually. Trade unions often represented by the political leaders. So this is another important aspect. So like that, if a trade union is represented or if the trade union is controlled by the political leader, then what all for all political activities, then this political leader will call the trade union members and they will utilize for their purposes. So the basic interest is itself lost. So these are the various important areas and attitude of the employer towards this one. So negative attitude of the employers actually speaking. So every employer will feel that trade union means it is unnecessary risk taking. So trade unions always will fight for the salaries only. So these are very, very important aspects what we have to understand. So irregular growth, weak financial position of the trade union is another important problem. Trade unions will not have sufficient funds to manage the various activities. Then political multiplicity of trade unions, more than one union, then inter-union rivalry, problem of recognition. Absence of paid office bearers is another important problem for that. Every office bearer means the treasurer, secretaries, etc. They are not paid anything else. So they will concentrate more on their benefits only, and automatically it will damage the concept of trading. Indifference of the members itself. So two different members will think in two different dimensions. Definitely, the trade union will not give any benefit to that organization. So these are the various problems of the trade union. Now coming to the most important area where we can talk it as a functions of trade unions is also there. Functions of the trade unions. So this is given in a restructured way in the page number 307. In the page number 306 and 307, paragraph number 17.6 you can refer. Paragraph number 17.6 you can refer. But some slight deviations will be there between one book with another that you can concentrate better. So in the case of the trade union system, what are the various employers trade unions, employees trade unions, it is employers organizations, I'm so sorry. This is not correct. Sorry. Functions of the trade unions is basically to protection and security of the employees. Protection and the security of the employees. So if for any smallest problem, if the management take unnecessary action against the employee, so the trade unions will definitely come forward. Grievance redressal, employees' grievances are reduced to the minimum possible extent. Then adequate standard of living will be provided to the employees by giving good amount of wages to them. Collective bargaining. So if the bonus is not declared by the management, even though there is substantial amount of profit, then organizing the trade unions will fight for the declaration of bond. Like that. Participation in the decision-making process. So trade unions often participate in the decision-making process. So for any new dimension, whether it may be a new product, a new dimension, or new time frame and all, then they will directly participate in the trade union system. They will provide education about organization, education about the functioning, and education about the various aspects in the organization. These are the other various aspects that ఈ లింకులు పెడుతున్నారు ఏంటమ్మా ఇవి భారతి
సార్ ఎవరు పెట్టారు సార్?
ఆ, ఏదో లింక్ పెట్టారు అది కాదు
ఎక్కడ పెట్టారు సార్?
గ్రూప్ లో
ఇప్పుడు
పెట్టారు
చాట్ లో పెట్టారా?
ఆ,
గ్రూప్ లో అయితే నేనే సార్
ఆ.
క్లాస్
జాయిన్ ద
లింక్స్ అవన్నీ.
జాయిన్ ద క్లాస్ అనే ఓకే
అంటే అంటే సార్ మేడం వచ్చారో లేదో చాలా మందికి తెలియట్లేదు, అందుకని లాగిన్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు అనమాట.
అలానా
సార్ గాని మేడం గాని వచ్చి
ఓకే
కాపీ
వచ్చినప్పుడు
చేసి అక్కడ పెట్టేస్తాం.
ఓకే
వచ్చినప్పుడు పెట్టేస్తాం. తర్వాత
పర్వాలేదు
జాయిన్
నాకేం
అవుతూ
డిస్టర్బెన్స్
వస్తారు
ఏం లేదు
ఇంకా.
డిస్టర్బెన్స్ అని కాదు అది ఏంటి ఇలా పెడుతున్నారు దీని అర్థం ఏంటని చూస్తున్నాను ఓకే రైట్ లింక్స్ అన్నమాట క్లాస్ లింక్స్ రైట్ సో
Yes.
వెన్ రైట్ So education about the organization functioning, organizational rules, and some of the employees may not know what is their protection level, or some of the employees don't know when they want some sort of assistance, how to go with that. So they will provide education about all this. Protests will be carried out whenever there is a problem, and legislation will be taken care of. Welfare and recreation, representation of the employees in the board meetings, etc. Communication to all the employees about the management practices and so on, and advice will be given to the various people at the various levels. These are all comes under the trade union mechanism in this. Then functions of the trade unions. This is participating. So these are the various aspects relating to trade union. Okay, one. Trade union objectives. So what we have done. Trade union, in that objectives are covered and theories of trade union. Let us go with that, and then we will proceed further. Then nature and objectives of the trade unions, we have them, and theories of trade unions is another important question. Don't forget about this one. So in the page number 303, it is given as the theories of trade unions, and broadly it is given under the consideration of the social psychological approach of the Robert Hoxie, when he has made the trade unions. He has classified the trade unions into various aspects, various subparts. One is business union, one is uplift union, revolutionary union, and predatory unions, etc. The unions generally do not subscribe any legitimate process. Sociological approach to Frank Tenenbaum. He views the trade unions are the end result of industrial society and advanced technologies to that. And a protest approach, that one, industrial democratic approach, classical society approach, and Sarvodaya approach by Mahatma Gandhi. According to this Gandhi, trade unions are the reformists of organization which work for the enhancement of the moral and intellectual capacities of this one. These are the few theories are there that one you try to make out. And then evolution of trade unions, okay. Rights and responsibilities of the trade unions is another important aspect. Just 1 second. So in the case of rights and responsibilities of the trade unions in the paragraph number 17.7, 7 points are given in that. All the 7 points you try to understand. So I want to tell you one small aspect here is that for every unit, actually, our HRM syllabus is a very, very vast syllabus. It is made out for 19 units. So in every unit, there will be some special aspects in that. Understand those special important aspects and then try to develop the matter on the specific points. Side headings you remember and understand the side headings and their content, and basing on that, you develop the knowledge and then try to make out the answer in a structured way. I am telling very repeatedly right from the physical class also. You whatever answer you are writing, whatever question you are attempting, it must be structured, it must be presented in a structural way. ఏదో రాసేస్తారు పేజీలు పేజీలు. అట్లా రాస్తే కరెక్ట్ గా ఉండదు. చక్కగా సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ పెట్టుకోండి, పాయింట్స్ డెవలప్ చేసుకోండి, చిన్న బుక్ లో సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ అన్ని మెన్షన్ చేసుకోండి. ఆ సైడ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ మీరు మకప్ చేసుకుని దాంట్లో అండర్లైన్ పాయింట్స్ అన్ని మీరు మెన్షన్ చేసినట్లయితే మీకు ముందు ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ నాలెడ్జ్, ఎంకామ్ సెకండ్ ఇయర్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు మీకు నాలెడ్జ్ కూడా ఇంపార్టెంటే. సో ఆ రకంగా చేసుకోండి. సో ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ అవి ఉంటే కూడా రేపు క్లాస్లో అడగండి. మీరందరూ కూడా కెరీర్ ప్లానింగ్, మనం దీంట్లో కూడా ఒకటి చెప్పాం, కెరీర్ ప్లానింగ్, కెరీర్ డెవలప్మెంట్. ఆఫ్టర్ ఎంకామ్ ఏంటి, మనం ఎంకామ్ చేసాం, నాకు సర్టిఫికేట్ వచ్చింది, అది సరిపోదు. విత్ దిస్ వాట్ ఐ కెన్ డూ, విత్ దిస్ వాట్ ఐ కెన్ మూవ్, లైక్ దట్ యూ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు ప్లాన్. సో ఆ రకంగా మీరు దాన్ని మీరు కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే మీకు కొంచెం బెటర్గా ఉంటుంది. ఇది నా ఉద్దేశం. ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ సైడ్? ఆర్ యూ ఏబుల్ టు ఫాలో?
Yes, sir.
ప్లాన్ చేయండి అమ్మా. ఆల్రెడీ జాబ్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఈ ఎగ్జామ్స్ అయిన తర్వాత నేను ఏం చేయాలి, ఎగ్జామ్స్ అయిన తర్వాత మేము ఎట్లా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి, ఏం చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది, ఏ రకమైనటువంటి డెవలప్మెంట్ ఉండాలి మనకి ఈ జాబ్లో అనేటువంటి అన్ని కాన్సెప్ట్స్ కూడా ముందుగా మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. రైట్? మీకు ఏదైనా డౌట్స్ వస్తే అడగండి, ఫోన్ చేయొచ్చు. నా ఫోన్ నెంబర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ మీ అందరి దగ్గర ఉండే ఉంటుంది. యూ కెన్ కాల్, యూ కెన్ టాక్ ఫ్రీలీ టు. రైట్? కానీ మనం డిగ్రీ తెచ్చుకోవాలి. ఎవరు కూడా, నేను చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్గా చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే, వన్స్ యూ పే ద ఫీజ్ టు ద యూనివర్సిటీ, ట్రై టు క్లియర్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్స్. కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ అంతా కూడా డిగ్రీ ఎక్వైర్ చేసేయాలి, డిలే చేయొద్దు. ఇఫ్ యూ డిలే యువర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, ఆటోమేటికలీ యూ ఆర్ డిలేయింగ్ యువర్ ఫ్రూట్స్. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ డిలేయింగ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, యు ఆర్ డిలేయింగ్ ఫ్రూట్స్. దానివల్ల వచ్చేటువంటి బెనిఫిట్ మీకు చాలా తక్కువ టైం వస్తుంది. అది మాత్రం చాలా ట్రూ. నేను ఓపెన్గా యూట్యూబ్లో ఉన్నా సరే చెప్తున్నాను. ఒక పర్సన్ 30 ఏళ్ళకి, నాకు బాగా తెలిసిన విషయం ఇది, ఒక పర్సన్ 32 ఇయర్స్కి, 32 ఇయర్స్ మధ్యలో పిహెచ్డి కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది. అతను ఎర్నింగ్ స్పాన్ 60 ఇయర్స్ వరకు ఉంటుంది. ఒక పర్సన్ 50 ఇయర్స్ 52 ఇయర్స్లో పిహెచ్డి వస్తే వాళ్ళ ఎర్నింగ్ స్పాన్ 80 ఇయర్సే ఉంది. వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెనిఫిట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్వైరింగ్ డిగ్రీ? మనకు ఒక డిగ్రీ ఎక్వైర్ చేస్తున్నామంటే మనకి దానికి ప్లానింగ్ ఉండాలి బాగా. ఆ రకంగా దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ హెచ్ఆర్డి, హ్యూమన్ రిసోర్సెస్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అంట. కాబట్టి ఆ రకంగా ప్లాన్ చేయండి. విష్ యూ ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్. ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ అవి ఉంటే రేపు క్లాస్లో క్లియర్ చేస్తాను. అలాగే మీకు కెరీర్ గురించి కూడా మీకు ఏదైనా డౌట్స్ అవి ఉంటే రేపు అడగండి. రేపు సండే లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో కంప్లీట్ చేయండి. రైట్? అన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి, క్వశ్చన్స్ లిస్ట్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి. ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్. బై.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
బాయ్.